This video is integrated 3. It is the adding and subtracting rational expressions worksheet number 1. So when we're adding and subtracting fractions, we have to get a common denominator. So in this case, both of these denominators are the same. So I can write this as a single fraction where I'm taking the x plus 2. And then I want to be careful that minus is going to be distributing to the whole second fraction's numerator, x plus 3. So I am going to have x plus 2 minus x minus 3 over x squared plus 3x plus 2. I'm going to clean that up on top to a negative 1 over x squared plus 3x plus 2. And the bottom is factorable, but it doesn't matter because I can't clean it up at all. Now on number 2, I don't have common denominators, so I'm going to have to get common denominators. So I need that whole thing here, this whole x minus 1, and I need this whole 4 here. So my common denominator here is going to be an x minus 1 times 4. I need both of them, okay? So I needed the 4 because of the first fraction. Let's clean this up here. And I'm going to need the x minus 1 because of the first fraction. So I need to make sure that I'm multiplying top and bottom by what I'm missing. So in this situation here, I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by 4. So that is going to give me 24 on top. For my second one, I am missing an x minus 1. So I'm going to have minus, don't forget the minus, 5x times x minus 1. So let me kind of clean this up. So I'm going to have a 24 minus 5x squared plus 5x over 4 times x minus 1. I am going to rewrite this as a negative 5x squared plus 5x plus 24 all over 4 times x minus 1. I can see if it is factorable. So I was just double checking to see if I could factor this. So I multiplied negative 5 and 24 and got a negative 120. Has to add to a 5. So I listed all the factors I could think of for 120, 1 and 21, 2 and 60. And I'm trying to find a difference of 5, 3 and 40, 4 and 30, 5 and 24, 6 and 20, 8 and 15, 10 and 12. And then my next one would be 12 and 10. So I've gone through the list. So none of these are going to help me factor this. So this is not going to be factorable. So that means that my answer can stay as it is. So this is going to be my answer. On number 3, again, I want a common denominator, so I am going to need an x plus 5 from here. I'm going to need 2x plus 3 here. So my common denominator is going to be x plus 5, because I need that from my first fraction, and 2x plus 3, because I need that from my second fraction. So what's going to happen is this fraction I would have had to multiply top and bottom by 2x plus 3, 2x plus 3. Just write this 3 better. My second fraction, I would have multiplied top and bottom by x plus 5 to get a common denominator. So I am going to end up getting I'm just going to distribute the top part here and get 10x plus 15. And then the second one is going to be a 4x squared plus 20x. So I'm going to get a 4x squared plus 30x plus 15 over x plus 5 times 2x plus 3. And let me just, 15 and 4 is 90. So I want something that multiplies to 90 and adds to 30. So 1 and 90, 2 and 45, 3 and 30. 4 does not nicely. 5 goes in 18 times. 6 is going to go in 15 times. So I'm trying to get a sum of 30 here. So none of these so far are sum of 30. 7, 8, 9 is going to go in 10 times, and then 10 and 1. So none of these are going to combine to give me a 30. So this is not going to be able to be factored any further. So this is going to be the answer. But you always want to check and make sure you can't factor further. So on 4, before I decide any denominator, I can take a 3x and I'll be left with an x plus 4. So now this is actually going to make it a little nicer. So I have a 3x times x plus 4, and over here I have an x plus 4. So my common denominator from my first one is going to be 3x times x plus 4. From my second one, I need an x plus 4, but I already have it, so I don't have to list it twice. So my first fraction, I don't need to do anything to that fraction. The second fraction, I am going to have to times the top and the bottom by what's missing, which is a 3x. So that's going to give me a 24x. So I'm going to write it as 24x plus 2 over 3x times x plus 4. Now I could factor out the 2, and I get a 12x plus 1 over a 3x times x plus 4. I cannot simplify that any further. That's going to be our answer. On 5, common denominator. So I have a 5x plus 4 and a 2x plus 3. Can't factor either of them. So my denominator is going to need, from my first fraction, 5x plus 4. From my second fraction, 2x plus 3. So this first fraction, I'm going to be multiplying top and bottom by 2x plus 3. Second fraction, I'm going to be multiplying top and bottom by 5x plus 4. And when I do, on top, I'm going to get a 4x squared plus 6x plus from the second fraction, I'm going to have a 30x squared plus 24x. And when I clean that up, I'm going to get a 34x squared plus 30x over 5x plus 4 times 2x plus 3. I can factor the top. I can take a 2 from top to a 2x. And when I do, I'm going to get a 17x plus 15. Now, none of that's going to cancel with my 5x plus 4 or my 2x plus 3. So I could leave it in either form where we have it left like this, or we have it factored on top. Both of those are acceptable. On number 6, I'm going to factor. So this first one's going to factor to an x plus 3. Move it over. And x plus 3 times x minus 3. So when I'm looking to get a common denominator, from my first one, I'm going to need x plus 3 times x minus 3. I do not need the x minus, sorry, if I'm looking at a common denominator, this one I have an x plus 3, x minus 3. And from the second one, I need an x plus 3, but I already have it. I don't need to list it again. So the first fraction is just going to have a 5. I'm not going to be doing anything to that. Okay. The first one's going to be just a 5. The second one, I want to be careful. I have a negative in front. And I'm going to be multiplying top and bottom of this by what it did not have, which is an x minus 3. X minus 3. So I am going to have an x minus 2 times an x minus 3. So on top, when I clean that up, I'm going to have a 5 minus, and I'm going to work out x minus 2, x minus 3. And when I do, I get x squared minus 5x plus 6 over x plus 3, x minus 3. I am going to have a 5 minus x squared plus 5x minus 6 over x plus 3, x minus 3. So I'm going to have a negative x squared plus 5x minus 1 over x plus 3 times x minus 3. And I can try to factor the top, but it's not going to be factorable. So this is our answer. On number 7, I'm going to factor both of these denominators. So the first one's going to factor to an x plus 2, x minus 2. The second one is going to factor to an x minus 6. It's a minus and a minus. So an x minus 3 and an x minus 2. So when I'm trying to get a common denominator, from my first fraction, I need an x plus 2 and an x minus 2. Okay, so I needed an x plus 2 and an x minus 2. From my second fraction, I need an x minus 3, which I don't have. And I need an x minus 2, which I already have. So I just needed, the only thing I needed was an x minus 3. So when I'm doing this, I'm going to be multiplying the top and bottom by x minus 3. Let me rewrite it. And the other fraction, I'm going to be multiplying by x plus 2. And so when I do that for my first fraction, I'm going to have in my numerator 3x squared minus 9x. Let me just move this. Okay. And from my second one, I'm going to be careful. I'm going to put the minus out front. When I work out the x squared, x plus 1 times x plus 2, I'm going to get an x squared plus 3x plus 2. I'm going to distribute, so I'm going to have a 3x squared minus 9x minus x squared minus 3x minus 2 over x plus 2, x minus 2, x minus 3. And so I'm going to get 2x squared minus 12x minus 2, x plus 2, x minus 2, x plus 3. I could factor the top. I could take a 2 out of that, and I'd be left with an x squared minus 6x minus 1. But I can't factor that any further. Nothing's going to cancel out with our denominator. So either I can leave it in this form here or this form here. Both of these are equivalent. On 8, I cannot factor either one of these. So my common denominator is going to be x minus 5 for my first fraction and x squared plus 1 from my second fraction. So up here, I'm going to be multiplying top and bottom to get a common denominator by x squared plus 1, x squared plus 1. So that's going to give me a 7x squared plus 7 on top. The other fraction, I'm going to multiply top and bottom by x minus 5, x minus 5, and I'm going to get a 2x squared minus 10x. When I clean that up, I'm going to get a 9x squared minus 10x plus 7 over x minus 5 times x squared plus 1. Let me see if I take, well, first off, I'm definitely not going to get an x squared plus 1 from the top, and there's no way I'm going to get an x minus 5 when I have a 7 here. So this is going to be my answer. I can try to factor the top, but it's not going to cancel with anything on the bottom. And there you go. And we'll practice a little bit more of this on the next block. Hopefully this helps you out.